Hey everyone, I'm Hero X Golden, and today I actually have something pretty special for you guys. We managed to get a Shadows of Evil low round world record that can never be beaten. Along with me is Silentlykilled, who's the friend who spent all the time and energy to get the world record round 5 Zetsubo no Shima Easter egg over 2 years ago. Back then, he had told me about his trick on Shadows, but I'd promised at the time not to share it or to use it myself until he was able to join. Also, tagging along with me is Maniac Killa, who you guys should recognize from the 4-player round 1 Moon Easter egg. Now, the final person I thought was just a random No Thumbs crew member, but the voice sounded oddly familiar. After about 20 minutes of sitting in voice chat, it finally hit me and I blurted out, "Wait, you're that Sassy?" You guys likely know her from the countless Black Ops 3 custom map guides that she has uploaded. So we're starting this run off with all of us spinning the Gobblegum machine to get some way of opening the map. A couple of us managed to get extra credit, so we go ahead and open all the doors. Now it's critical that we get Arnie's this round, and thankfully my second spin gave fire cells. Now most of us go ahead and do beast. I go ahead and do spawn beast mode, although for a moment I thought we were actually going to have to restart. But I did eventually get the stairs, then shocked the box for quick revive, continued to melee the one for the summoning key, shocked for the spawn ritual piece, and finally ran over to Canals to melee its ritual piece, opened the rift door, and barely had enough time to shock the final box. Sassy and Silent done their beast modes over in Waterfront and Footlight, and then Silent rode the train to get the symbols before Maniac used his beast mode over in Canals. By doing it this way, Maniac could have opened what we need in Canals, but then still have time to run into the rift and unlock the eggs. I realized at the same moment that he started his beast mode, that no one had actually opened the rift portal for him to run through. So after restarting, we finally do get back to where we were at. This time I do make sure to open the rift portal before Maniac starts his beast mode. Now, before proceeding any further, we go ahead and pop all the fire cells, since, as I mentioned, getting Arnie's this round is crucial. Now, I personally didn't get Arnie's, but of course, everyone other than me did. Typical golden luck. I do get lucky enough to end up with the Dingo and Brekkie though. So to pull this off, we need all the zombies that we can get this round. One helpful trick is that you can take advantage of the keepers that spawn when you pick up the ritual part, as well as the ones from down in the rift. You can either kill them near the egg statue as they are, or have them follow you into the ritual lockdowns, and once it finishes, they'll turn into regular zombies. Since we've unlocked the eggs, Maniac starts to fill up his egg first over at Footlight, which requires 12 kills. At this point, no one else is killing zombies, only Maniac. Now, in a 4-player game, you start with 10 zombies. You also get 3 keepers every time you pick up a ritual part, as well as another 3 from down in the rift. So that gives us 25 zombies so far. That's not to mention if we get lucky in getting the flies or zombies from the pods. Now, the flies are an extra important, but also an extra tricky part to this, but I'll explain more about that in a moment. But with the 25 zombies, Maniac can easily finish Footlight. With 13 of those left, Maniac's also able to go ahead and use 12 to finish the waterfront statue next. We actually had a moment here where we almost risked losing the run. As everyone knows, after doing the 2nd and 4th ritual, a Margwa always spawns. Obviously, when you shoot a Margwa eye, it spawns a fly. What few people know is that if you run from those flies, then they'll turn into normal zombies. But also, those flies can kill your zombies if they shoot their attack at you and hit the zombies instead. Now at this point, Maniac has 2 rituals fully done, but we're down to only about 4 zombies. So how's he going to do another 2 whole statues? And wait, that still leaves 3 of us who also still need to do all 4 egg statue locations ourselves. Now, I didn't realize it at the time, but Maniac had actually done Canals earlier in the game, when he first opened the eggs. But nothing changes on how he does it, so I'll explain, although it's pretty simple. Once you place your egg over in Canals, you can just come up and stand here in this corner after starting the ritual. As long as it's just one person, it gives plenty enough time to kill the keepers up until your egg is finished. But this still leaves the statue location. This is where Silent's trick comes in. One person starts the final pack location, while the other stands out near the statue. One of these players must have Arnies though. And after getting a few keepers spawned in the ritual, they throw their Arnies out near the statue. The person outside can then kill them once they get close enough to it. Then the person in the ritual just goes down so that the ritual fails. Then they can just repeat. But that still leaves 3 people with eggs needing to be filled. So this is where Maniac became a sacrifice. If you start the Margwa ritual and down before you finish it, then you'll have to redo it. But remember earlier when I mentioned the trick about the flies? Ditto. He spawns the Margwa, then he shoots 2 of the eyes before letting the Margwa down him. Then repeats and repeats. He does this, and then only Silent uses all the zombies to get all of his statues filled. At this point, things can speed up. Another lesser known fact, if a person does the Margwa ritual and then afterwards someone else goes and does their Margwa ritual but fails it, then anyone who has already done one that round gets their cooldown reset. So Maniac can do a ritual, then Silent can down during his, and this will allow Maniac to do his second ritual. And this does work for everyone. This allows them to get to the point where they can spawn 2 Margwas. This way, every time they reset, it now gives 5 flies rather than just 2. They continue doing this so that Sassy and then I can get all of our egg statues filled and start working on our Margwa rituals. Using the same trick allows all 4 players to do all 4 Margwa rituals within a single round. At this point, it's on to flag step. This next trick's my favorite one to do on this map, but it only works if the door beside Mule Kick is kept shut. The strat here is to make sure all players are in the rift, and once they are, I go ahead and pick up the flag. I wait a few seconds to let all the meatballs spawn before I then run out of the rift. It's important that the other 3 players stay down there though. The players in the rift just have to run away from the meatballs long enough for me to place the flag up top. It's important that they do not kill any of them though, nor the flies that spawn either. Once I place the flag here, all I have to do is hang out, and the guys in the rift can just hang out as well. What's happening is, as soon as I place the flag, the meatballs will try coming to it. Except, fun fact, meatballs can't use portals. And since the only other way out of the rift is the door beside Mule Kick, they're stuck down there, allowing me to not even have to defend the flag, aside from a random meatball that may occasionally spawn. So after finishing the first flag, all that's left to do is kill the Margwa that spawns. Then flip the round. We do take a moment on round 2 to actually turn on the perks and open the rift doors, since we weren't able to do that on round 1 with the beast modes. Then I go ahead and do the round 2 flag, then it's just flip the round and do the remaining 2 flags on round 3, and then again on round 4. Then we go ahead and start up the boss fight. All of us agreeing that we shouldn't pick up the nuke and risk ending the round. After all of 4 seconds, boss fight's over and done with. We actually had a panic moment here since the nuke was grabbed, but we got lucky and it didn't end the round. Last thing to do was to take care of the train car step. So after killing a Margwa, we go ahead and get in the beast modes. Once we're all ready, Maniac calls the train, and then each of them shock their box, and I just take care of the keepers there in the middle. And there you go guys, round 4, Shadows of Evil. Thank you all for following along, and for anyone who hasn't, do be sure to like and subscribe, as I will be continuing to show the rest of our Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 low round world records. But until then, we'll catch you guys later.